Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Yo, what's good people?
Soundstripe.
Tonight I got a special guest. He was somebody I thought that I should bring to y'all attention because he did some amazing things, and I really believe this brother is very inspiring. Basically, reading his bio earlier today, and it inspired me, to even want to do this interview even more, because this is a family member of mine, and we've recently got acquainted with each other, and we ain't really get to talk. So we basically gonna learn each other some more tonight in one aspect. And like I said, it was just somebody that I think has a very inspiring story to tell. And it's somebody I believe, y'all all will appreciate, because the brother been through some things, and we gonna get to it. So who I have for y'all tonight is Kenneth Hill Jr. You know what I'm saying? And he is a martial artist. And I ain't talking about somebody y'all see with the wires and flying through the air and everything like that. I'm talking about he do the thing, martial arts. Black belt to the 4th degree in U.S. Hapkido and Taekwondo. 2nd degree International Tang Soo Do and American Freestyle Hapkido. 1st degree, what is that? Tang Soo Do Federation, South Korea. And he, like I said, is a martial artist and a 9-time Hall of Fame inductee to the martial arts. So my brother, you got some things going on, brother. So let's talk about that first. Like I said, I was reading your bio, and you said it was a movie that inspired you. You know what I mean? So let's get a little story on that. Like, what was that movie? Tell everybody what the movie was and how did it inspire you and what did it do for you?
Well, thank you first and foremost. It's a blessing to be here, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on, brother.
The movie that inspired me was Enter the Dragon, starring Bruce Lee.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. Now, back in the day, drive-in movies were the thing. And my family and I went to see it right before my 9th birthday. And as soon as I saw that movie, I said, Mom, Dad, that's what I want to do. And they said, okay, well, you got to make us one promise. I was like, what's that? If you study it, you can't bully other people with it, because they know that I was getting bullied for the past 3 years.
Right.
So I said, okay, I promise I won't do that. That's all I wanted to do. Well, what Bruce studied, there was no school like that around here on the East Coast.
Right.
So Taekwondo is where I started because of the flashy kicks and, just the jumping through the air. You're talking about not being on the wire, but,
right.
That's who I thought of those guys when I saw them. And that's where I started when I was 9 years old with Taekwondo.
Wow. I mean, that's that's first of all, that is a great movie. One of my all-time favorites as well. You know, Bruce Lee was a bad man, so you know, every time I seen him on the screen, I'm running to that screen to check that joint out. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
am a martial arts movies fan, so this is actually a treat for me as well. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I used to watch like the Kid with the Golden Arms,
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Five
Black.
Deadly Venoms,
Yeah, Black Belt Theater.
Super
I was there
Ninjas.
every Saturday.
Absolutely. So it was
Yeah.
like this is an easy interview for me because this is conjuring up my fandom. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. So, you know, as a young man being bullied because of your perceived weakness, you know what I'm saying? How did that, you know, how did that work out as far as you getting into the martial arts? Like, you know, people perceived you as being weak. And a lot of people don't know just because they're being bullied don't make you a weak person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you just seen your circumstances and you didn't move, but that don't make you a weak person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I mean, let's talk about that, like being bullied and, you know, how'd you get through that situation?
Well, the bullying didn't stop. It lasted for a total of 10 years. And I understand now that I wasn't a weak person, but back then I still felt weak, even with the martial arts for years, because I wanted to retaliate, but I made that promise, so
Right.
I didn't. So I actually didn't have my first fight until I was in 10th grade.
Wow.
And when I had that fight, that was the only fight I had to have. Because once I unleashed what I had been learning for so long on that one guy that has been bullying me for 10 years, nobody bothered me after that. So I felt like Moses walking down the hallway because once they heard about the fight, everybody would just back up to the lockers and let me walk by. Nobody said anything.
So it sounds like the bully got taken care of very nicely, and ain't nobody want to see you after that.
Right, right. Because I was still little, because I was
Right.
always smaller than everybody. I didn't grow until after high school because I was only 5'7", 132 pounds when I graduated high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't grow to 6'1". You know, I'm right around 190 now until after I got out of high school. So everybody knew me as that little guy that was quiet and shy, but they didn't know all the things that I was struggling with, you know, because one of the things I struggled with was stuttering. So I didn't want to talk because I ended up stuttering and I felt embarrassed by it. So, you know, people didn't really know me in high school. I had a handful of friends, but that was all.
Okay. I mean, you said, you know, that was one of your physical ailments, like stuttering and whatnot. Is a lot of people grow out of that. You know, it's just the environment dictates how fast you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a nephew that deals with that, you know, and I know when he was younger, it was really bad, right? And then
Right,
as he got older, he's just talking free, just like you are now. You know what I mean?
right,
That's another thing. Like just because somebody tell you something that matter of fact, I'm gonna save that for this question right here because I know you got like, you know, some physical ailments that you deal with and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So can you explain to the audience, you know, what you're going through? Because I think this is the most inspirational part of the story because I'm pretty sure people think that they can't do things because of what somebody tell you, right? And
right.
you said that in your bio, and I looked at that. But you know, you really did some things that, you know, is pretty amazing. 9-time inductee to the Hall of Fame. That's pretty amazing. And all the degrees and black belts from different, you know, aspects of martial arts too. It ain't just one thing you specialized in. You did a couple different things. So tell the people, like, you know, what you going through physically and how you overcame that. Because I think that's amazing.
Well, growing up, the only thing I heard is, okay, you got weak ankles from martial arts. So that's all I knew growing up.
Right.
There's a hereditary nerve disease on my mom's side of the family that nobody talked about, except for me overhearing it a couple of times in conversation with the uncles. But they're like, oh, don't worry about it. You good. You just got bad ankles from, you know, martial arts. So that's all I thought. That's all doctors thought. Well, when I was 22, I tore up both of my ankles competing, because I competed for 9 years in fighting.
Right.
And they always say get a second opinion. Well, I got 4 opinions, and all 4 of them said stop martial arts. They said have surgery on both ankles, because by the age of 35, you will not be able to walk. Then they followed it up with, if you don't stop martial arts and don't have the surgery, you're going to be in a wheelchair even sooner than that.
Wow.
Well, I remember something that my mom always said. She said, I don't care if there's 100 people in the room and they're all against you. You stand your ground for what you believe. Well, I never had the surgery and I didn't stop martial arts, even though it was a struggle.
Right.
10 years later, I found out that that nerve disease, it's called Charcot-Marie Tooth disease, or CMT. I was diagnosed with it in my early 30s. Wow. And it was kind of funny how it was diagnosed, because I was a professional truck driver then. And I came in to do my physical with a doctor that I didn't know was through the company. And I lost my balance doing a squat. And he said, what's going on with you? And I said, oh, I got old injuries from martial arts. He said, no, I think you got something more than that. And I said, why is that? He said, you mimic the same characteristics as a nerve disease in my family, by, you know, and he told me the name was a different name.
Right.
I said, well, there's one in mine, but they told me don't worry about it. And they said, have you ever been tested for it? And I said, no. And I said, well, what do you do? He said, just get a blood test. And that's how I found out that I had this nerve disease.
Wow. And like I said, brother, you know, most people will see that and get discouraged from doing anything, let alone keep doing martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you didn't use that as a crutch. You used that as more drive to go in and hit it more. So I commend you for doing that, because a lot of people don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? Where they get bad news, it goes to their heart, overtakes their soul, and then they just out here. They really don't care about too much anymore. But to hear, you know, that you use that as a driving force to keep doing it, and your mother's advice that she gave to you propelled you to even do it more. So, man, that's big ups to you for doing that. And like I said, I think that's very, you know, I think that's very, like, that's what made me want to do this interview, because a lot of people today are, you know, going through a lot of things, and they use it as I ain't gonna say excuse, but a reason why they don't want to do things anymore. And you are living proof that you could take something bad and do some good with it, regardless of what's going on. So I commend you for doing that, my brother.
Well, I thank you for that. You know, but I did go through what everyone goes through. When I got the diagnosis and I started doing the research, I gravitated to all the things that were bad, all the negatives in there. It's like, oh, this is how I'm going to end up. And then the more I read and I looked backwards at what I've done, I was like, no, that's not me. No, that's not me. No, that's not me. And I was like, well, before this diagnosis, I didn't stop. Why am I going to stop now? It's like, these doctors are wrong. okay, I have this disease. Now I have answers to all the difficulties I was having. And
Right.
all that did is motivate me even more to not outdo their diagnosis or their interpretation of how it be. But I wanted to do more to show that that's not how it has to be. Because people I talk to that have this, they always tell you about the higher percentage of failure. And I said, well, what about the lower percentage that doesn't? Why can't you be one of them?
Right.
And once we, get on that same wavelength, then I say, okay, well, let me see what you can do and let's build from there. And before you know it, you're going to forget all about that list of things you say you can't do because it's not going to matter.
Right.
And that's how I teach when I teach martial arts.
Right. And speaking on that, that you are actually a master, right?
Yes.
And you teach kids with disabilities, and do you also teach regular kids as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was kind of sad that the pandemic hit because in February 2020, I was teaching at a school for the past 8 years that specialized with special needs students.
Okay.
So some of them had physical disabilities, some emotional, there was just a whole rainbow what was going on there. And I was able to show them I'm an example of how you can be successful even though you have those struggles. And it was a blessing to me. So now I'm taking steps to open my own school so I can help them continue their journey. But
Wow.
I've taught for more than 22 years total.
Wow. So you definitely ain't new to this. You true to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
so it's like, like I said, brother, your story, like stories like this, you don't get to hear too often where, where you battle through your physical ailments. And then not only did you do that, you are giving back by helping people are less fortunate than you. That's also another thing that need to be commended. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real easy out here now for people to fall into these, stereotypical ideology,
Yeah.
ideologues and people that do crazy things, and
Right.
they get a whole lot of the attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But people like you that's out here doing great things and being a great person while you doing it, is to be talked about too. And a brother like me, when I see stuff like this, I like to bring to the light because I think you are definitely somebody that need to be heard and a story that need to be told. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, brother, I commend you for the work you do. I commend you for the work you're gonna continue to do because that's awesome, man. You help because see, I feel a certain type of way about that. I have a child of myself, a kid with disabilities, you know what I'm saying? And I I can relate to your story because the doctor said so much about him and he been proving them wrong ever since, my brother. So like
Nice.
I said, I just like I said, your story reached me in a different way. It's really made me want to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
I'm happy to hear about your son because my oldest daughter is autistic. And people always ask me, how did you get so good at working with kids with special needs, especially emotional? And I said, my daughter was my teacher because I didn't know anything about special needs, autism, anything.
right.
But watching her journey helped me be a better instructor to where I can be there for them.
And that's amazing, bro. Another brother out here being a father, people. Yeah, it's some black guys out here that be fathers, all right? Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing, okay? We got to talk about them. Big these men up, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that actually was my next question, and you basically answered it. You know what I'm saying? So I was going to ask you that question about kids with special needs because I also read that on your bio. And like I said, is to be commended. You know what I'm saying? Because, it takes a special type of person to have patience.
Right.
When you're working with people with disabilities and also emotional and physical disabilities and ailments. So, that's to be commended. I appreciate what you're doing, brother. I want you to continue on that journey because I'm going to send my son to you one of these days so you can go ahead and work with him. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I'd love to have him in there.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to send him to you. You know what I mean? So I was also looking in your bio, man. You got so much going on. So I see, a story of you being a volunteer firefighter for the Department of Sediments. So yeah, speak on that journey as well. See, people, let me just say this before you get into it. This man is doing amazing things, and he told you what he got going on. So we can't be sitting around here thinking we got excuses to be at the bottom. You can go anywhere you want to go. It's all about your will and your drive. So let's get busy, good people. All right, so let's get into that. Yeah, volunteer firefighter, Department of Sentiments. What was that? What's going on with that there?
Yeah, I was a firefighter from 82 to 95. I graduated high school in 82 and I went into the fire department as a volunteer and I did that until 95 when I started driving tractor trailers.
Okay.
And it was just a blessing for me because a lot of people don't realize that you don't have to get paid for everything that you do. There's so much, worth in volunteering that I enjoyed being there. And that's why 4 years ago, I came back as a contributory member just to talk to the young firefighters coming up and let them know the things that I saw and what I've been through and being there in that aspect as well. It's starting to be where I don't have as much time as I used to commit to it. So I may, pull back from it for a little while, but that's a big part of my life was when I was a firefighter. And everybody said, why would you put your life on the line, for people you don't even know? And I just tell them because I wanted to. I wasn't looking for any prestige. I wasn't looking for any, pats on the back. It's because I wanted to. It was in my heart to do it. My dad and my uncle were police officers in Cinnamon as well. My sister was a dispatcher. So I was in that kind of environment all my life.
Right.
And it was something I was more interested in than being a police officer anyway.
Right. And hey, man, another thing to be commended for. A lot of people see that fire, they run away from it. You know what I'm saying? Try to get away from it. You ran towards it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So again, to be commended. This brother got so much going on, man. Like I said, I thought it's definitely an inspiring story to bring to the people. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, brother, I commend you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure the people that's going to watch this and listen to this can appreciate a story like yours because it shouldn't be no excuses for anybody when chips are down or whatever, anything you got going on in your life when you think is going bad, it's amazing things still to be had. You can get there. You know what I'm saying? You just got to work and have that drive to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think your story is basically all of that. You know what I'm saying? So what you have accomplished most, this is where I was getting at. What you have accomplished, most people need a lifetime to do that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
In the near future, what can people, expect from you? Like what you got in the pipeline that I know you said you're going to open up your own school. Well, what else you got going on that people should expect from you and look out for?
Well, I'm a part of two things. Like the first thing is I wrote an ebook, but I actually been asked to add content to actually write a book and put it in print about my life and my journey.
Right.
So that's something that I'm working on right now. And one of the martial artists who inducted me, it was actually my first induction. He created a comic book and he created a character for me in this comic book.
Oh,
And that was released a few months ago. So been working on that, you know, because I've always been a comic book fan.
oh,
But
me too.
yeah, so it's a martial arts comic book called The Martialist. I'll make sure I send you copies of it so that way you have it.
Okay.
And you know, the character kind of reflects my journey. You know, the character he created for me is called the Key Master, who has this key that everybody wants, and I'm guarding it with my life. It's like it don't matter how many come at me,
Right.
how you know, whatever you bring, it's like I'm gonna fight you for this because you're not getting it, you know. And that's how I live my life, because I could easily sit on the sofa with a remote control in my hand, feeling sorry for myself, but that's not who I am.
Right.
And I didn't realize that so many people had their eyes on me because I've always been a behind the scenes kind of person. I didn't care about being in the spotlight.
Right.
But that same CMT that I have, every year we have a family conference and they asked me to be their keynote speaker this year.
Okay.
And that was a blessing to hear. You know, as a phone call I didn't expect. And they said,
Right.
every time anybody talks about you, they talk about how you help them and how, you know, they know that you care because you listen to them and say, hey, I understand you're struggling with this, but who said you had to do that or do it that way? You know, you got to find your own path. And that's what
Absolutely.
I encourage people to do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, that's a huge honor, you know what I'm saying? The keynote speaker and everything. And I was talking to cousin Shirley. We had a barbecue at recently, and she had slid through, and she was like, I said, yeah, I was talking to Kenny, and I'm gonna have him on for an interview. She said, yeah, he's a star. He's blessed. She was like, yeah, he's blessed. So I was like, yeah, and we talked a little bit about you and everything. And I just told her, I said, you know, I liked you when I met you. You know what I'm saying? We hit it off right away. Excuse me. When we met, and it was like, you know how you meet somebody and y'all family, but y'all never really got to meet. Then you meet them, you're like, damn, we got so much in common.
Yes.
Unbelievable. But that
Yes.
tells you, you know, that's that family that is dear. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I said, brother, it's been a pleasure to meet you. You know what I'm saying? And I look forward to our next meeting, a big gathering when we have the whole family and we all chilling and everything. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm looking forward to it too. You know, and Shirley, she's funny because so many of my family didn't know my journey because I never talked about it. You know, they
right.
knew I liked martial arts and I was into it, but I never talked about it. But now people are asking me, is like, okay, no, you need to talk because other people need to know because they don't think they can do it either. So that's why I talk, because before I didn't say anything.
And that's also to be commended because, like I said, it's a lot of shy people out. You know, it's a lot of people that you know, they like you said, they not looking for the spotlight and they not looking for, you know, any thank yous or anything, just to be who they are. So, like I said, that's to be commended. And, you know, for me, you know, like I said, I think we got a lot of things in common, especially, you know, I love martial arts movies, man. I used to get, I used to have so many of them, like Seven Swords and, You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
Punk
5.
Shaolin versus, I had it all, man. And I
Yeah,
still watch them from time to time when I'm bored and everything, you
yeah.
know. But when I seen on your bio, 9-time Hall of Fame inductions, can you like elaborate on that? Because I don't want to just say it and let it ring hollow. You know what I mean? Explain to people like, you know, which halls of fame you were in. And I seen that you grade get inducted to something else. So how about you talk about that?
Yeah, my first Hall of Fame induction came from Dragonfire Martial Arts. And, you know, they're in the area. They have an event down in Atlantic City every year. And the person, Sifu Cliff Cupper, who nominated me, is the same one who created the comic book.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know him at all. He just reached out to me and said, I know about you. I would like to nominate you. Of course, I thought it was a hoax. So I didn't even answer him the first time he reached out to me.
Right.
So then he reached out to me again. He said, no, I reached out to you before. I'd like you to contact me. So I figured, okay, let me give this guy a call, see what he's all about. And the more he talked, he's like, yeah, he said, people have talked about you. And I asked him who, but he still to this day won't tell me. And he said, I would like to induct you for what you're doing, because I was still teaching at that school then. And I said, well, I'm honored, but you know, it's not necessary because I don't care about awards and all that other stuff. But he did, and I'm actually grateful for it because, you know, people say, look, you worked hard, you went through so many things to achieve the levels that you have, you should be recognized for them. Well, when that happened, yeah, other people started to see me that I didn't know. And I was inducted into another Hall of Fame out in Vegas through the American Martial Arts Alliance. Now, he's based out of North Carolina, but he has his event in Vegas. And when I went out there, and he said, oh, I also put out a martial arts history book called Who's Who in the Martial Arts. I would like to put you in there as one of the features.
Wow.
So I'm in a couple of different editions of the Who's Who in Martial Arts. And he started a new one a few years ago called Changing Lives, where I'm also in one of their editions as well. Because he said he likes to showcase people, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier, that are out there giving back and helping others to come up. And that's what I enjoy doing. You know, I realize, you know, the Most High gave me these gifts, and it would be ridiculous for me to keep them to myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know you got an induction coming up. So where are you going to get into next?
I have a ceremony coming up because I didn't want to fly out there, but it's through Argentina. I just been inducted by Argentina's Hall of Fame for my accomplishments. And then next month, I'll be in Philadelphia being inducted by the Philadelphia Historic Martial Arts Society.
Wow, man. Man, the list goes on and on. So, like I said, my brother, you know, to be commended. You know, stories like yours, they don't get told enough. And I know you don't want to toot your own horn. That's not what this is about. You know, what this is about is letting people know, you know, no matter what you're going through, physically or mentally or anything you got going on with yourself, it's still a path that you can walk and see some greatness out of it. And you ain't got to seek you don't got to go far. It's right inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Just bring it out. Bring it out.
Yes.
And go for it. Whatever it is you're doing, just go for it. You know what I'm saying? And I just, like I said, I just thought your story was so inspiring and people needed to hear it. So I was like, I want to interview Kenneth.
Like I said, I'm blessed to be here.
Hey, man. And when you get that book and everything together, come back on, we do it all over again. We, that's what I'm all about, putting shine on people. It's not so much about me either, you know what I'm saying? Because when I first started, it was mostly just doing music. And we bring music guests on, people in the family that I know that do music. And I was like, I know these people are good. I think other people need to know that. So I created a platform and try to get their music heard, and that's how I look at you, brother. You got a amazing story that need to be told, you know what I'm saying? And to be commended as well, giving you your flowers, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. What would I do?
Yeah, it's been a blink of an eye to realize that in September I'll be coming up on 49 years in martial arts.
Wow, brother. And I ain't even that old yet. But it looked like we're about the same age. We got the same grade going on.
Yeah,
so you've been
57.
Brother, you doing good out here, man. I'm freaking 46. I'll be 47 this year. Okay. And we got the same amount of gray. I gotta get something together over here.
No, that's wisdom. No, that's wisdom.
Yes, indeedy, man. But I mean, is it because we ready to take a break, and we gonna come right back with the interview. So y'all people that's listening and watching, y'all ain't gonna feel the break, so you ain't gotta go nowhere. But me and Kenny gotta take a break. So we'll be back. Don't go nowhere. We are back. We are back for your Don't Listen podcast. We are back with a very special guest, like y'all should know by now. You know what I mean? Y'all should know by now. We got Kenneth Hill Jr. Let me read y'all these accolades again, because I don't want y'all to think I'm playing. I ain't playing. All right? Stop playing and listen, right? Listen to this, because y'all need to understand this man ain't playing. 4th degree Hapkido and U.S. Taekwondo. Stop playing. 2nd degree International Tang Sodo and American Freestyle Hapkido. Stop playing. World Tang Sodo Federation from South Korea Grand Master. Stop playing. Okay. My man ain't playing out here. He got some degrees of black belt. Okay, stop playing. All right. 9-time martial arts Hall of Famer. Okay. Need I say more? Stop playing. All right. So, with all those accomplishments, this is where we get to the freestyle part now. There's no more, I have no more wrote down questions, my brother. So we gonna get to the freestyle part now.
All right.
All right. So I don't know, Ken. I mean, we went through your accolades, your life story and everything. Like, what you got going on right now that's like, that got you super excited to ready to do something now? Where you at with that now?
I've been connecting with people that understand my journey. And they've been reaching out to me and saying, hey, look, if you need help with, finding a location, with finances, with equipment, it's like, we're here for you. And that means more to me than anything. Because I'm a very humble person. It's not that I'm prideful that I can't ask. I just don't.
Right.
So when they've reached out to me, because I got a phone call today from an instructor in New York who, because of my years of teaching special needs kids, wanted to know if I could come up there every Saturday to teach his kids.
Wow.
And that was an unexpected phone call, but I told him, I said, you know what? Let's talk more about it, because like I said, when I found out about this nerve disease, I was driving trucks. I've been to 46 states and I've been to Canada, so driving is no big deal to me. I get in the car and go.
Right.
So a couple hours up the road is like up the street to me. And I'm really thinking about doing that, so that way I can get back into my flow. So that way when the time comes for me to launch my school, I'll be more than ready.
Right. And that's dope, man. You, like I said, you know, good things happen to good people, man. And people that come your way and putting a light and shine on what you got going on, brother. Hey, man, good things should be rewarded. You know what I'm saying? And the humble man that you are, you might not want to accept it, but like I said, my brother, good things happen for good people. Sometimes is in the cards for you to get these blessings. You know what I'm saying? Because you bless so many other people. I call it like karma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you do so much good, now it's coming back to you, you know, and you're being rewarded for that. And that's a blessing, my brother. I know you're humble, but it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, man. I get it. I seen it when I first met you, how, you know, how cool you was and everything and inviting, because I'm more of a person kind of like yourself. I don't talk too much. It took me a whole lot to do this, what I'm doing now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes we got to get outside ourselves so we can receive some blessings as well. So, you know, it took a lot for me to do this, but I enjoy it. I love talking to people now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a blessing for me as well. And to have people like you come on and share y'all stories, you know, I just think dope people should be seen by dope people. Every person that I have that's in my audience, I think they all dope people because they come and watch me and the people that I bring on, and it's all being reciprocated. So I just want to thank our listeners and the audience for watching. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor FM, and YouTube. So where can people find some things about you? Because I know you said you was in a magazine as well, right?
Yes.
You want to talk about that publication before we go? Because I want people to get eyes on you. So where can they see some things about Kenneth Hill, Master Kenneth Hill? Stop playing, y'all. Black belts. Okay, stop playing. But where can people go and find some things to read on about you and get to know you a little better?
Well, definitely go to the Who's Who in Martial Arts. You know, they're on Amazon. The last couple of years I've been in there, and Changing Lives. That's also part of that series. The newest thing I was on that I've been in is a martial arts magazine called the Martial Arts Extraordinaire magazine. And I was asked to submit an article about teaching special needs students, and you know, it was accepted and published in last month's edition. Okay. And as Michael Jai White and his wife on the cover of it. And I've been on, I met him. I've been on Zoom meetings with him. You know, he and his wife are just amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some of my idols, you know, when I was coming up in the martial arts face to face at these events or on Zoom, and it's overwhelming for me.
Hey, brother, that's cool, man. Michael Jai White, people don't know, you know, they probably seen him in movies or whatnot and think that everything is choreographed and everything, and it ain't real. But that brother really is a martial artist.
Yes, he
You
is.
know what I'm saying? You know, he got this one of these movies he got out, it's Blood and Bones. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that brother is, and he's just a dope person too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's really cool person. Like I watched some of his stuff that he got online, and Michael Jai White, ain't no, he's a bad man, but he don't act like one, just like you. You know what I'm saying? And that's that discipline y'all learn from doing martial arts. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I'm grateful for these blessings coming now, because even though I had martial arts, you know, most of my life, I didn't have the discipline then. And I realized I didn't have the maturity then for all these blessings to come about back then.
Right.
So even when my diagnosis came, I'm glad that it came later in life after I was already disciplined and I was already fighting through things and didn't know why I had to go through them.
Right.
And then once I got answer to those struggles, it just made it all worth it. You know, I was glad I fought through it. I'm glad I didn't sit around feeling sorry for myself. And now I'm out here helping other people see what they can do. And there are things that they never thought that they could do themselves. So, you know, my journey is blessed because I'm helping others.
Yes. And the people that around you are blessed to have you in their presence, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because is, you know, some things as being a black man, we got all these stereotypes on us, you know. So I know is good brothers out here bucking those stereotypes. And you are definitely one of them, man. And like I said, you are to be commended. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I appreciate you for coming on with us tonight. And I know you're a busy man. I know you got your family going on at the house, so I don't want to hold you up too long. We have been blessed by the master, you know what I'm saying? The master, Kenneth Hill Jr. on your Don't Listen podcast with your boy TP. We was in the building with the Grand Master. Y'all need to stop playing and get where you ain't, because we strong outside and in the paint. Stop playing. This has been another edition. Understand, we are out. I want to wish y'all all peace on your journey. Peace on your journey. Don't let nothing stop you from believing and achieving what you want. It's all about will, a little bit of sacrifice, and have the drive to want to be what you want to be. Don't let nobody tell you you can't, because can't shouldn't be in your vocabulary. I want to thank our guests, again, the Master Kenneth Hill Jr., my cousin, you understand, for coming on with us tonight. And y'all be safe out here on these evil streets. God bless. Take care. We out. My bad, y'all. I made a mistake and I have been corrected. So cousin just told me something I made a boo-boo on, and he gonna explain that to y'all, because I don't know what I don't know. So he gonna let y'all know what you should know. All right, what is it, cuz?
I am a master, you know, being the 4th degree, but I'm not a grandmaster yet. It's something that I'm striving for and I'm working hard towards. And when the time comes, I'll change that title that I have of master to grandmaster, but I'm just not there yet.
All right. So I apologize. He is a master not a grandmaster, but he will be a grandmaster. He just spoke it into existence, people. So that's what he gonna do. So I apologize. This has been your Don't Listen podcast, and we out again. Peace to you all on your journey. And now we out. Peace.